I think I'm live. Yep. All right. Good afternoon, or good morning, or good night, good evening, wherever you may be. If you're in the UK, it's probably the evening time. All right. We got a bunch of people waiting. I'm not sure if I think we're live. Can you guys see me and can you hear me? But I want to start until I get confirmation that you can see and hear me, that everything's good. Kevin Jones, thank you. All right, we're good. We're rolling. What's up, everybody? Keith Miley, Hatham Jayad, Kevin Jones, how's it going? We got a bunch of people jumping in. Somber Heart 84, how's it going? Andrew Fawcett from Berlin. Wow. It's evening in Berlin. What's up, Andrew? Adobe Gaines, proper. Any amount of aminos on strict keto, or any brand of aminos on strict keto. All right, brand of aminos. Now, what type of aminos are you talking about? Are you talking about like branched chain amino acids? Are you talking about essential amino acids? Yeah, I got grease on my fingers. It's not a booger on my, not a booger on my hands, guys. All right, so let's go back to this question about aminos on a ketogenic diet. Now, branched chain amino acids, you're probably not talking about that. You're probably talking about like essential amino acids. But I'll say this, and I talked about this in the last hangout that I did. Branched chain amino acids, so-called BCAAs, from what I've seen, from all the research that's been coming out, pretty much useless, especially in the context of a ketogenic diet. Now, a ketogenic diet increases circulating BCAAs. So it means you have increased circulating branched chain amino acids in your blood. You've already got more BCAAs in circulation. There's no need to supplement with more BCAAs on a ketogenic diet. And even if you're not doing keto, even if you're on a carbohydrate-based diet, even if you're an elite athlete, you're probably not going to be benefiting from BCAA supplementation. You're probably better off eating whole food sources of protein. Now, essential amino acids would probably be more useful than BCAAs. What brand? I don't know. I don't know what's out there. These are not things that I use. Although essential amino acids, I think, could be useful to some athletes, especially. It's not something I use. I mean, I'm not a high-level athlete. First of all, I'm not training multiple times a day. I don't have a huge, ridiculous training frequency. Actually, lately, it's been more low-frequency training, more lower-intensity training even, because I've been so busy with so many other things. But that's not to say that they're useless to everybody. I get all my protein from whole food sources. I get it from food. That's where I get my amino acids from. That's where I get my nutrients from. The only thing that I supplement with regularly, the only like vitamin or mineral that I'll supplement with regularly would be like magnesium. Yeah. And I'm not saying that all supplements are useless. I mean, they all have their place, but I'm saying like the only one that I take regularly is magnesium. All right, I got to pop out. I'm getting so many. What's up, everybody? Juliana, how's it going? There are so many people coming in here, and I'm losing the beginning of the chat. All right. Sybil Schlater, what's up, man? Stephanie Leavitt, you were here last week, weren't you? And she says, Stephanie Leavitt says, good afternoon, was reading your book on my lunch break. That's so cool. Jessica, someone's reading our book on their lunch break, and they're shouting you out. Jessica's outside trying to put Ryder to sleep, and she's probably upset that I just hollered at her. Sorry, Jessica. Michael Weisenauer, Keith Miley, Sybil Schlater, Emmanuel, Stephanie Leavitt, John Taylor, what's up? Maria Hemsworth from the UK, how's it going? We got Houston, Texas, Zurich, Switzerland, people from all over the place. Chef Shalina Judith, Wade Sedevi, how's it going? All right. Keith Miley says, does keto increase testosterone? Does keto increase testosterone? I mean, all right, so let's get into this. Does keto increase testosterone? Does blank increase testosterone? I don't think there's anything that's going to increase testosterone across the board in all cases for everybody especially like diet related, I don't think anything's going to be like a magic increased testosterone always works for everybody thing. So I'll say that. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say, yeah, keto, of course, increase testosterone in everybody. Yeah, there might be some studies that show that, I mean, it's obvious a high-fat diet can increase testosterone. Testosterone is created from fats. You need cholesterol to create sex hormones. You need cholesterol to create testosterone. So giving yourself dietary substrate with which you can create testosterone and sex hormones could increase the likelihood that you would make sufficient testosterone. I've seen loads of people on a ketogenic diet increase their testosterone dramatically. In fact, I had a client who's 59 and his testosterone was, I think, 1,300 when he got it tested recently, which, I mean, it could have been some sort of an error in the measurement. But and his doctor was freaked out. I was like, how did you get your testosterone so high? There are a lot of people who get increased testosterone on a ketogenic diet. But that doesn't mean that everyone's going to get testosterone increase on keto. That doesn't mean that. An individual who's like working night shift, super stressed out, got all kinds of things going on, low testosterone, his endocrine system is overloaded from stress, somebody who's just, always stressed out, shallow breathing all the time, not sleeping well, eating a high inflammatory diet, super inflamed. That person who's in a context of all kinds of different things that are attacking their endocrine system and making it difficult to have and maintain proper sex hormone levels and proper testosterone levels, that person might not necessarily see an increase in testosterone on keto. And just because keto might increase testosterone doesn't mean you're actually getting to the root of why you had low testosterone in the first place. It could just be that you're kind of covering it up and boosting your ability to create testosterone from a different angle, meaning like you didn't really plug that original leak. You just like increased the velocity of the water that was coming through the faucet. So yeah, I mean, increased testosterone, very likely that a ketogenic diet can, but it's not so simple. Keto, more testosterone. Thanks for the question. You know what always increases testosterone? Taking testosterone, going to these doctors and or taking what's it called? Just steroids, exogenous testosterone. Is that going to benefit you long-term for your health? Is it going to be beneficial for health long-term? Probably not. But hey, you know what? There are some cases when, people getting on like testosterone replacement therapy, well, there are cases where that can be useful. So, yeah, many different ways you'd increase testosterone. Landon Holly says, in all capitals, do you have a girlfriend? That's funny. All right, Andrew Fawcett, do you have any thoughts on MCT oil versus coconut oil? Good question. All right, MCT oil versus coconut oil. All right. All right, MCT oil. There's MCT oil, medium chain triglyceride oil, just contains the medium chain triglycerides from coconuts or red palm oil or just palm kernel oil. Actually, most of them are like a mix of coconut and palm kernel oil. I usually recommend if you're going to get an MCT oil, get a coconut oil based one. It's much more sustainable. Red palm oil, all the palm oils are highly destructive of the rainforest, no matter where they're grown. I've seen companies trying to market, say that, oh yeah, we get ours from Ecuador. It's really nice red palm oil, small family farms. It's totally non-invasive, non-destructive. That's BS. All of this red palm oil is highly destructive of the environment, especially the Amazon. So if you want to have an Amazon rainforest, if you don't want to decrease the biodiversity of these beautiful regions of South America, please don't support red palm oil. I'll stop. I could go on and on and on about it, but I'll stop for your sake, for your sanity, for my sanity, so I don't get all heated and end up ranting half this thing. So anyways, MCT oil versus coconut oil. MCT oil, in my opinion, is overmarketed, overpriced, and not that much better than coconut oil. So there's the answer straight up. Now I'll explain what MCT oil is. MCT oil, when you have coconut oil, there are many different fatty acids in coconut oil. There's many different things that you can make out of coconut oil. A lot of high-end cosmetics and high-end nutraceuticals use caprylic acid as an ingredient. Caprylic acid is a potent antifungal. It's very good for skin. It's got a lot of uses in cosmetics as well as nutraceuticals and pharmaceuticals. So caprylic acid is often refined and removed from coconut oil. Now, when you remove that caprylic acid, you're left with these other medium chain triglycerides that don't really have much value, or at least they didn't until the ketogenic diet became so popular. So now, much like whey protein, whey is the byproduct of mass-produced, industrial manufactured cheese. Whey is fantastic, actual whey, like raw. It's the raw fermented liquid after you strain out the cheese when you're making cheese. So like artisan cheese makers locally here, we know a lot of people who have goats and really good grass-fed A2 cows, and we like to get whey from them. It's really, really good. Kids like it. It's good stuff. But in the U.S. and in industrialized countries, a lot of this whey that you're being sold, all of it, it's basically just a byproduct of cheese manufacturing that they've found a clever way to market. And that marketing niche is bodybuilders. You need protein, bro. You got to get your protein before, after, during your workout. You need a mainline protein all day long. You need 600,000 grams of protein per ounce of your body weight every day, or your gains are going to fall off and you're not going to be attractive and you're going to still have the crippling insecurity that led you to become a bodybuilder in the first place. That's the angle. MCT oil, kind of a similar thing. Byproduct of the manufacturing of a lot of high-end cosmetics, nutraceuticals, and pharmaceuticals is these medium chain triglycerides that aren't really that marketable unless you market them to ketogenic diet people. Hey, they're really useful. I'm not saying that it's an invented market. The market was there. It's good stuff. It works, but it's way overpriced in my opinion. I mean, you're basically buying refined coconut oil. They've already sold the expensive parts off. You're buying the cheap crude oil from the bottom of the barrel stuff. Literally. That's MCT oil. And it still costs more than the coconut oil. Coconut oil is better. It's still got the caprylic acid in it, which is a very beneficial fatty acid. Has many, many awesome uses. So just use coconut oil. And if you look at the ingredients and all the recipes in our cookbook, in the Ketogenic Edge cookbook, you'll find that none of them call for MCT oil. Whole ketogenic cookbook. My wife spent over 1.5 years of it. No, she didn't just forget to put MCT oil in it. We use coconut oil, and we recommend using coconut oil whenever possible because it's cheaper. It's more sustainable, meaning better for the environment. Really, it truly is better for the environment than the red palm oil derived MCT. And the reasons I just described, MCT, clever marketing, basically you're buying the leftovers. All right. Thanks for the question, Andrew. Beatrice in Seattle. What's up, Beatrice? Cat C. Keith Williams. What's up, everybody? All right. Does keto work with high-intensity training? Yes. Yes, you can do high-intensity training with keto. But let me tell you this. While you're adapting, biltong. South African friends shouting out about the biltong. All right. While you're adapting, though, do not do too much training, and your intensity is going to have to naturally be a little lower because you're not going to have so much energy. It's going to take some time to actually get your energy levels up and actually adapt to the diet to where you can train at that high intensity again. So several weeks, some people take like over a month, some people take longer. If you're a high level athlete, if you're like an ultra marathon runner, heavy, like ultra marathon runner is not like high intensity training. Well, it is high intensity, but it's different. I mean, we're talking endurance, but even endurance athletes, they need time to adapt. It takes time. You can't just get all the benefits of keto right away and be able to fully crush it as an athlete in this new dietary pathway, new metabolic pathway rather. It's going to take some time and adaptation, and so have some patience there. For the athletes out there who want to do super high intensity training at a high level on a ketogenic diet. You can do it, but you have to have time to adapt. It can take months for you to really reach that peak potential or see performance gains, especially in like endurance training, endurance athletics. Norman, Oklahoma, Jared Otis, what's up, man? Juliana Gavao. Hi, Tristan, love your videos so much. Information, I have a question. I see results on my body, but the ketones in my blood don't go above 0.4. Am I doing something wrong? When are you measuring those ketones? That's one question. All right, so you're seeing results in your body, but your ketones aren't above 0.4. So I'm guessing that the results you're searching for are in your body composition. Juliana Galvao. Are you Brazilian? Where are you from? Juliana. If the results you're looking for are in your body, chase those results. Don't chase ketones. One or the other. Your ketones will be there. You could push those ketones up by eating a bunch of MCT oil if you wanted to. But look, if you're losing body fat, if you're feeling good, if you're steady energy throughout the day, and those ketones are just at 0.4, what are you tripping on? Maybe your ketones were at 0.5 before you got all stressed out when you're about to prick your finger for the blood. The cortisol from that causes a stress response. Maybe you measured right after a meal. Maybe you measured first thing in the morning when ketones will be a little bit lower because naturally the rhythm, the circadian rhythm of our day, of our hormone profile, will give us more cortisol first thing in the morning. So there's a lot of things that could be going on there. But if you're getting progress and the progress you search for is in your body, then why are you so concerned with the ketone levels? You know what I'm saying? Let's prioritize things. How much does it cost you every time you measure your blood ketones? You measure your blood ketones 2 times in one day. That's like an entire meal right there. That's like $10. It's a lot of cash measuring ketones. If the results you search for is not a number on a blood glucometer. The numbers will be there. The numbers will line up, especially as you become more lean, as you lose the visceral adipose fat and your insulin resistance goes away. Your blood glucose numbers, your ketone numbers will be there. But chase one or the other. Chase results or chase ketones. Ketones don't equal results, as you just demonstrated. You're getting results in your body, but your ketones are only at 0.4. Oh, no, I failed. No, you're getting results. You're okay. People make it too complicated. People make it too impossible. They have all these different metrics by which they're looking for failure almost, right? It's like we set ourselves up to look for reasons and excuses sometimes. Like, oh, I'm not getting the results. What do you mean? Oh, well, my body's changing. What? Your body's changing? No, yeah, I'm not getting the results because I have 0.4 ketones. What? You're getting the results. The results aren't ketones. Ketones don't equal results. How many times do I have to say this? No. All right, thanks for the question. Good question. All righty. Steve Wong from Sacramento. What's up, man? Says, loving the cookbook, guys. Thank you. The cookbook, I mentioned the cookbook earlier, and I was talking about how we don't use MCT in those recipes. It's all coconut oil if it's going to call for that. Yeah, thanks for mentioning the cookbook, Steve. For those of you who are wondering where to find that cookbook, it's available exclusively at primaledgehealth.com. You're not going to find it anywhere else, not even on Amazon. We're not even feeding the Amazon beast with this one. Sorry, Amazon. All right. Norman, Oklahoma, Sacramento. We got people from all over. This is so cool. There's so many people tuned into these now. It's ridiculous. All right. Brenda Lou says, what about XCT oil? What is XCT oil? Is that the special, more expensive MCT oil with a fancy brand name? Yeah. All right. Keto cholesterol spike. Will keto spike your cholesterol? In some cases, it seems like people's cholesterol can jump up on a ketogenic diet. In some cases, it goes way down. And in some people, it goes up. It's an interesting thing. Now, the important question is, what does this mean? What is cholesterol doing? What's the real meaning of high cholesterol? And is high cholesterol dangerous? So let me throw out some facts here. People who have heart attacks, heart attack victims, the ones who have high cholesterol have far less mortality rates, far lower mortality rates, meaning they survive more. People who have heart attacks, the ones with high cholesterol live. Interesting, right? How about this one? Centenarians, people who live past 100 years have higher cholesterol. They got high cholesterol. Cholesterol in and of itself is not bad. It's about context. So I've talked about this many times, and maybe it's time to do a series on the whole cholesterol thing and talk to some experts. But there's a lot of new information, a lot of conflicting information out there about cholesterol. But I will say that through my research, I have come to believe that cholesterol is not the demon it's been made out to be. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. All right, Doobie Brown, much love, man. Been doing IF for the last 5 years. I've also done 2 separate week-long fasts. I was wondering if you have ever performed a fast beyond intermittent fasting and your experience with it. Yeah, I mean, I've fasted. Yeah, I have. I've fasted for longer than intermittent fasting time. Let's see. Alex A says, I have a lot of energy. 8 weeks in on keto, which means I exercise more. I'm really worried I'm going to crash at some point, though, like on other diets. I'm going to stick to it, though. Alex, so what has happened to you on other diets? I mean, on these other diets, have you experienced loads of energy and then a crash? That doesn't – it seems like on most other diets, it's just a crash diet and then a crash out of the diet. The ketogenic diet, there's 100 different ways to do a ketogenic diet, but keto's a little bit different for a lot of people. The energy levels, the sustainable energy that you feel can be pronounced for a lot of people. Some people don't notice a difference, but other people, it's like night and day. For other people, it's like their brain functions totally differently on a ketogenic diet. So let's see. What was the question? You think you're going to crash because you're exercising more spontaneously. All right. So if you feel like you've got all this energy and it's just popping out of you spontaneously, if you're just bouncing around the world, enjoying life, like throwing your energy out there, hey, I don't know. It doesn't sound like you're forcing it. It sounds like it's something that's happening naturally. Your body's got energy. Are you afraid of it? Isn't that what you want? Don't you want more life? So instead of worrying about crashing at some point, it's like, here's a language you use. I have energy. I feel great. I'm moving around. But I'm worried that I'm going to crash. Isn't that funny? Why are you worrying about crashing? I mean, why don't you focus on expanding on where you're at? Why don't you focus on getting your grounding in this state that you have now, where you have more energy, where you might have more focus, where you might have more life, more resources available to you? Why don't you seize the moment and enjoy it? Enjoy what you're given instead of, you're walking on this path and you're enjoying what's going on. Why would you be worried about, oh, I'm worried there's a crash, or I'm worried, I don't know, what's there to worry about? Enjoy what you're doing. You have more energy that you can use spontaneously. Don't worry. Don't set yourself up for the crash by looking for the crash. It's like, I'm worried about the crash. So it means you're looking for it, right? You're looking for it. If you're looking for a pothole, you're like hypnotized by this thing. Driving down the road, you're looking for a pothole. I don't want to hit a pothole. I don't want to hit a pothole. It's like, that's your dialogue inside. I'm worried about hitting a pothole. I'm worried about it. So you're always looking for it. You're looking for what you're worried about. You're looking for it. So then you got this 4-lane highway, and then there's like one little tiny pothole in one of the lanes, and you see it. It's way ahead there. You're looking at it. You're hypnotized by it, and then you drive right into it. That's what we do to ourselves. This like self-sabotage crap. We got to get out of those cycles. If you're looking to lose body fat, if you want more energy, if you want more life, then you've got more life, and you're on a path where you're getting what you want. Quit looking for potholes. Quit looking for things to worry about. Oh, I'm worried I'm going to crash. Oh, I'm worried I'm going to get cravings. I'm worried this is going to happen. I'm worried a piano's going to fall on my head. I'm walking out. It's a beautiful day outside. I'm just a gorgeous sunset. I'm walking down the road, just saying hi to everybody, feeling great. But I'm worried that it might rain. Come on, enjoy life. Thanks for the question, Alex. Kevin Jones, what's up, man? Lav2K says, does smoking weed take you out of ketosis if you do smoke? Lav2K, young fella, the way you worded that question makes me think that you've been smoking weed right now. All right. Does smoking weed take you out of ketosis? No. It would not take you out of ketosis. Not something that I've tested, but would smoking weed take you out of ketosis? All right. So let's look at the effects of cannabis and cannabinoids. When you look at all the research on, cannabis can be, it's obvious. It's a fact that it is a very powerful, it's got medicinal properties, very, very powerful medicinal properties. And it goes beyond just the THC, which is the one that that's scheduled, right? So in the United States, you've got Schedule 1, Schedule 2, Schedule 3, I don't know how many schedules there are, but Schedule 1 drugs means these are the compounds which supposedly have no medicinal value, no possible medical use. They're useless, dangerous, deadly compounds. For some reason, the United States, well, for many reasons, it's Schedule 1 cannabis, even though we know that it's very, very powerful. Let's talk about some things that cannabis can be used for. One, the one that I think is ridiculous that these kids are being deprived of powerful medicine for, and people are being punished and persecuted and prosecuted for giving kids medicine, is epilepsy, refractory epilepsy. A ketogenic diet is one of the most powerful adjunct therapies for epilepsy, for maintaining stability in neurology so that you don't get seizures. There's these kids who have refractory epilepsy, no drugs will work. A ketogenic diet was developed for them. It was discovered that this diet, that eating a very low carbohydrate diet, a medical ketogenic diet, will keep these kids from having seizures, and no other drugs work. But you know what's been discovered recently, and there's a lot of people on the internet that are up in arms about it because they've been using it publicly, and a lot of people have been being persecuted for it, but they've found that cannabis and extracts of, what do you call it? You call it weed. You said smoking weed. Now, I'm not talking about like smoking weed. These people are giving these kids weed and telling them, we'll go smoke weed. That's not what's happening. They're giving these kids a powerful extract of cannabis, the volatile essential oils of that plant. And this is keeping these kids seizure-free where nothing else would work. It's really hard to get a kid on a ketogenic diet. It's super hard. But these cannabinoids are powerful and can actually help these kids and keep them seizure-free. People have probably heard of CBD, cannabidiol, which is legal in the United States. Let's clear that up. It's still legal. And it's absolutely atrocious, and it's a shame. But the FDA, illegally, the FDA has no authority to do this, but the FDA went, or was the FDA or the DEA? I think it was the DEA. The DEA. That could be wrong. Either the FDA or DEA. If it was the DEA, they have no authority to do this, but the DEA just declared it and said CBD, which is one cannabinoid that can be extracted from hemp, as well as like cannabis or the cannabis plant. Cannabidiol, which can be used for all kinds, it's got all kinds of medical uses, and it's being studied, it's being proven that this stuff has all kinds of medical uses. The DEA recently just said, with a swipe of a pen, the magical swipe of a pen, declared and decreed that CBD is Schedule 1 as well. Now, this is yet to be really fleshed out in the courts, and we're going to see what happens. But in the USSA, this is what's happening. These plants that can be used for medicine can just be banned like that. People can be demonized, put in a freaking cage for the rest of their life, and have their kids taken from them by the government and given up to child protection services, where they'll be put through all kinds of abuse in these weird little foster homes they put them through. They take people's kids for giving them this. It's ridiculous. I don't know how I started talking about this. So someone asked me, smoking weed on keto. All right, so cannabis has been shown to be used and useful as a therapy for refractory epilepsy, just like a ketogenic diet. And it's probably because it has a lot of the same mechanisms. Cannabis actually forces you to burn fat. It has effects, and I got to do more research on this, and more people need to do more research on this and become well-versed in this and how this works. Because right now, research is suppressed because internationally, this plant is demonized because certain people wanted to suppress its use and its very powerful economic leverage back in like the 1920s. So you look at the history, like William Randolph Hearst, these individuals, these interests in oil and lumber industries suppressed the use of one of the most powerful medicinal plants in the world, and even more, like not even more offensive, all of it's completely absurd and completely offensive, but also suppress the use of hemp as as a product of industry. This could be one of the most powerful tools to improve the economy in the United States. Look what's already, I mean, what's this turning into, like cannabis activism hour? That's not what this channel is about, but this channel is about healthy living. It's about taking control of your life, taking control of your health, taking responsibility for what we put in our vessel, for how we maintain this vessel. And it is your right. It is our God-given right to decide what we put into our body. And it's offensive to me that these things can be suppressed. Will like smoking weed kick you out of ketosis? Probably not. And I would say that, like, maybe if you look at the medicinal use of cannabis, it seems to maybe have some synergistic effects with ketosis in inhibiting glycolysis, and they could have very similar pathways. Should you smoke weed? I don't know, probably not. The way you worded your question tells me maybe you shouldn't smoke so much weed, but they can be powerful medicines, and it is offensive to me that these things can be suppressed and people can be put in jail for using it, and people can have their children taken away. They're treating them with this. All right. Julie Morris. What's up, Julie? Paris M. How's it going? Have you heard of the Lindora Lean for Life program? It's low fat, low carb, and moderate protein. Is it safe? I don't know if it's safe. I haven't seen it. Low fat, low carb, moderate protein. So it sounds like it's bordering on, I mean, you're eating protein. You're restricting calories through eating protein, through not eating fat, through not eating carbs. Probably not sustainable long-term. Probably a little harder to stick with than a straight up ketogenic diet. It's not something I'm familiar with, but I'm not going to bash it. Hey, it probably works for some people. It's protein, and you're not eating fat, and you're not eating carbs. So you're going to burn body fat. How long can you do it? How easy will it be? I do not know. All right. White Birdie, regards from Egypt, keto partner. Egypt, what's up, man? Kicking it with the pyramids. All right, Jared. The biggest difference for me was my brain. It has massively increased my recall, ability to brainstorm in meetings, and focus. That's really cool. Congratulations, man. Gerard. All right, let's see what's up. How damaging is drinking alcohol to my ketogenic diet and progress? And the alcohol in question that this individual is asking about is wine. Ben, thank you for the question. How bad is alcohol on a ketogenic diet? All right, so here's the download on alcohol on a ketogenic diet. Here's the truth about alcohol on keto. All right. Alcohol must be burned before any other fuel source. So if you put alcohol in your body, you will not burn glucose. You will not burn fats. You will not burn ketones. You'll burn alcohol. So while you're drinking, if you're going to drink, my suggestion is this. Eat well before, probably not right before, but eat before you drink. Don't eat while you're drinking, if you can, and don't eat after you drink. The thing with alcohol is people tend to make really poor choices. Really? Yeah. People tend to make really poor choices when they drink. What a surprise. Those poor choices often include poor dietary decisions, Taco Bell, 2 o'clock in the morning, ordering a pizza in the middle of the night, or just, eating a diner at the end of your binge. So it's all context. If you're drinking to excess, if you're getting super drunk, causing damage to your body, then yeah, long-term, that's not going to be beneficial. But a few drinks now and then, some red wine now and then, wouldn't be a problem as long as you're not going with all the other habits associated with it, like eating junk food in the middle of the night, stuff like that. So that's what I'll say about that. If you're doing it all the time, it can mar progress. If you're drinking every day, something's going on there. Don't drink every day. But but a little bit of alcohol here and there in moderation can be useful. Autology Media says you should use bang in a keto diet. It has no carbs and also considered as Ayurvedic medicine. It has lots of medicinal benefits. LOL, getting high on keto diet. All right, that's funny. All right, bang, that's like the Indian term for hashish. That's what he's saying. I'm not saying that you should use hashish on a ketogenic diet. That's what this commenter is saying. I don't think that everybody should use anything. I think everybody should be able to use whatever plant they choose, put whatever they want in their body without persecution. I mean, is that so controversial? It's like they're educating children about like transgender stuff. Like they're teaching, like making kids question whether they should be a girl or a boy, confusing them about their gender identity in kindergarten. But, you know, we don't have freedom to put whatever plant we want in our body or to grow a plant as benign as a tomato plant. All right. What's your favorite way to eat sardines? Whew, Connor. Sardines are close to my heart. Sardines. I love sardines. My favorite way to eat sardines, the way I usually eat them, is in a hurry because I got 100 other things going on. I need to get a quick meal in. In that case, I'll just open up a can of sardines. And by that time, I'll probably be thoroughly hungry because I've been putting off the meal for so long, getting things done. And then I'll get to that meal. I'll open up that can of sardines. And I'll eat them. And then I'll usually have something else, maybe an avocado or something like that. My favorite way to eat sardines, just on the go. On the go, they're great. I also like to use the keto flatbreads, the chia flax flatbreads, which they're basically like little pancakes that are in the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. I really like to use those with sardines too. So I have like 2 of those little flatbreads, open up the sardines, and have an avocado. I'll put some salt in the avocado. I'll have the flatbread, and I'll take a bite of the flatbread with a bite of sardine because the sardines are in olive oil, and it's just really good together. And then I'll take a little bit of that avocado, and it might have some spices on it. Sometimes I'll put some cayenne in it, and I'll like supplement my bites. I don't know. That's how this weirdo likes to eat sardines. Alex A says, gonna dodge those potholes, mate. Good job, Alex. Dodge the potholes, man. You got energy. You got life. I have so much life. Oh, but I'm worried because I know I got to die one day. And that's a hard one too, you know. I got to die one day. You guys want to just make this a philosophy podcast? Talk about life and death. Talk about the things that really matter. I've always had this saying, not always, but anything worth thinking about and worth talking about just ends in paradox. Lakshay Chug. Lakshay Shug. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Great name. Says, I'm down 4 pounds. By the way, on last live bid, you pronounced my name wrong. It's Lakashe. With a bunch of H's after the S. Why do you have 3 H's after the S in your pronunciation? Lakashe. All right. Have you seen Scorsese's Silence? No, I haven't seen it. Adaptation of Shusaku Endo's novel. If not, I highly recommend you watch it when you have the time to do so. I know you appreciate good cinema. Cool. I'll check it out. Is that the film about the Christian missionaries in Japan, something like that? I've got all these movies that I have yet to see that I've got them. In Ecuador, you can download movies, so I'll just say it. I've got the files. I've got the downloads, and I haven't watched them yet. A bunch of good ones. And I just never get time to watch a movie. And by the time the kids are asleep and Jessica and I can both actually watch a movie, both of us are usually so tired that it's just like, wow, that movie's 2 hours long. No way. It's way too long. And all movies are like 2.5 hours long nowadays. Even comedies are like 3 hours. Ridiculous. The movies are longer, but then the cuts are so fast. Isn't that annoying? The editing on movies nowadays, it's like jumbled and crazy. Scorsese's cool though. Scorsese's best film is probably, all right, so I like Gangs of New York. So underrated. It's not perfect, but it got pretty close in some regards. Daniel Day-Lewis in that film is so amazing, and even like DiCaprio was pretty good in it too. John C. Reilly in that movie is great. It's just like an evil corrupt cop. Gangs of New York, fantastic. The sets, the cinematography. What else? Scorsese's done that I like. Not that much recently, right? Nothing really that great recently. Maybe his new one's good. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. Scorsese. All right. Seabass at Toyota says, I will not ever eat sardines. That sounds so gross. Well, you sound childish. I will not ever eat sardine. That sounds gross. I mean, that's how I'm reading that. You might not sound like that, but come on. You probably never had sardines. You probably never tried them. You just don't like the word. You just programmed. Drop the programs. Live your life. All right. When is Jason Fung going to be on your show? Sometime in May. I was going to meet with Jason Fung like a week ago. I was going to have him on. We're going to do a live YouTube, like a live Google Hangout. But that day I ended up having to take care of some other stuff and I had to go to town, which takes like 45 minutes. So I had to go and do some of the, I had to go jump through hoops, stand in lines, sign papers, those fun things. Andrew Fawcett says, all right, Andrew Fawcett's answering this other person who asked about smoking weed on keto. Says, smoking weed won't, but the bag of Cheetos you eat next might. Yeah. You're right. Hearst demonized weed because he didn't want hemp paper to take a foothold and upend his paper mills. Paper mills, but also, what about Henry Ford's car? I mean, hemp steel. We're talking about corrosion-resistant composite materials made from hemp that supposedly, like, all right, so hemp is antimicrobial. It doesn't rust. We're talking about a long-lasting, highly durable, and muy fuerte, very strong material. And Henry Ford supposedly made an entire car out of hemp. All the steel on this car, the entire chassis was made out of hemp. Do you know why cars don't last now? Anybody who's ever restored a car knows the biggest enemy of the vehicle is rust. Metal rusts. All these cars that you see nowadays, all the buildings that you see, within 100 years will be turned to dust if they aren't maintained and painted regularly. How crazy is that? If civilization were to end today, there would be very little left that would let us know it was here. And if just a few hundred years, think about that. How many times have we been here? How many times have we been through this? Pretty amazing, right? But if you could make composite materials that wouldn't rust, that you could use the same as steel, which apparently Henry Ford did. Now, this isn't something I've researched extensively. This could be hearsay. But I've heard many, many times, and I've seen photographs of what was supposedly the hemp car. And Henry Ford supposedly made a car out of hemp. How crazy is that? I mean, people see, when I was a little kid too, I used to joke around. You make fun of hippies and stuff, like, oh yeah, they just think weed's gonna solve all the problems. But if you actually look at like hemp, who cares about like the stoners and what they're doing, smoking weed, this and that? But just look at hemp. Just look at the possibilities. Look at Henry Ford's hemp car, hemp composite materials. It is criminal that this stuff is illegal. It's criminal that you can't grow hemp. It's one of the most viable food sources, one of the best seeds available nutritionally. It's absurd. If you can't tell, I'm a big proponent of freedom and of responsibility as self-responsibility. And yeah, it's a shame when people give up their freedom for security. Security. Okay. Hello from Utah. How do you feel about doing keto for life? As far as it is really realistic, is it really realistic to eat this way if you don't have meat or veggies ready to go 24 hours a day? All right, good question. Keto for life. Could you do keto the rest of your life? You could totally do keto the rest of your life. Yes. Should you? I don't know. Do you want to? I don't know. Here's how I'll pick apart your question here in this way. I'll take this angle. Let's look at it like this. Is it really realistic to eat this way if you don't have meat or veggies ready to go 24 hours a day? What do you have ready to go 24 hours a day? Processed junk food? Is that the only other option? Look, you can have whatever, you can eat meat, you can get meat or vegetables no matter where you're at any time. You can get meat and vegetables any restaurant in the world. You can go get an omelet at any diner. You can get a keto meal anywhere you go. It's not hard. I don't even get like what any other, like there's no diet that's impossible to do for the rest of your life. I mean, maybe like if you're trying to eat 100% organic, the best food, only the highest quality, then it might be hard, but you can get good keto food no matter where you're at. No matter where you go, you can do it. So yeah, it's totally realistic. And you can get meat or veggies 24 hours a day. Quit making excuses. People, we love to like look for nitpicking excuses. Oh, I can't do that. I can't do that because of this. But really, a lot of the times we're just saying, oh, I don't want to do that because I'm lazy, or I don't want to change my habits because of this excuse. Well, it's too hard. I don't know. So that's how I'll take that one. But thank you for the question, my friend. Good luck on your journey. All right. David says, hey, Tristan, I'm on with my dad right now, who has been keto for about 6 weeks, and he loves the mental clarity, but he claims he's losing fat but not weight. His weight hasn't changed. How does he know he's losing fat? If he says he's losing fat but not weight, then he's probably clever, and he probably knows what's going on. He probably knows he's gaining lean muscle mass. He's gaining muscle and losing fat. So that's amazing. Congratulations, man. Keep it up. You feel great. You're stoked. You're losing fat and gaining muscle. The only thing, or let me say it this way. The scale is not always the best way to measure progress. If you're looking for fat loss, if you're doing a little bit of weight training, if you're doing resistance training, if you're changing your hormonal profile, which happens on keto. We talked about testosterone earlier, how some people experience massive jumps in testosterone. And I kind of tried to downplay it a little bit because I'm not trying to tell you, oh, do a ketogenic diet and you'll have high testosterone, because that's not how it works. But some people do get a boost in testosterone. And that would cause lean muscle gain while you're losing fat. So that's awesome. You're doing well. All right, Chef Selena Judith Wade Sedivy. What a name. You had to put chef in front of there too, right? All right, feel super happy on high fat. Thank you and Jessica, you both phenomenal people. Lost 13 pounds in 90 days, yet love to lose more, at least 20 pounds and a bit faster. Any suggestions? All right, so you've lost 13 pounds in 90 days. You've got at least another 20 pounds to lose. Here's what I'll tell you to do in that situation. Again, remember, I'm not here to give advice, especially not medical advice. I don't give medical advice. I'm not a doctor or any of that nonsense. There's your disclaimer. All right, so I got a lot of clients who pay me to formulate diets, to look into their lifestyle and help them to get on track and do it right. If you were one of my clients, you lost 13 pounds in 90 days, you're feeling good. Assuming you're getting a sufficient amount of protein, I would say keep the protein the same. And since you're not hungry, or if you're not hungry, let's back off the fats and let's take the fats down by like 20 or 30 grams. So if you're doing 150 grams of fat, that might drop you to 120 grams of fat. That's how I would adjust it. Fat is what you move to move the scale. Protein is going to stay relatively fixed no matter what. If you're trying to gain weight, then more protein would be useful. And in some cases, more protein or less protein. It's all about context, right? But for the most part, protein stays the same. So you adjust the fats. Thank you for the question. Congratulations on your 13 pounds of fat loss. Keep it going. Goody Beats, what's up, man? Jesse Chang, what's up, dude? Let's see. Kyle Smith, blood glucose a little high, but still in ketosis. I recently watched a video of yours talking about this topic and wish to know what you really focus on. If you saw the video, you're just baiting me to like repeat myself, aren't you? So, all right. You're losing body fat. You're in ketosis. You're en route to your goal, but your blood glucose is a little high. What is a little high? I don't even know what that means. What is a little high? Are you pre-diabetic numbers, like 110 fasting? Or do you have like, your fasting glucose is 90, which is still below 100, which is good. You're fine. Ketosis. All right, look. If you're doing a medical ketogenic diet, then this could be a little bit relevant. This could be relevant. Would be relevant. But if you're doing a diet for fat loss, you're just trying to optimize your lifestyle, feel good, and enjoy life, maybe you don't need to be so concerned with measuring your blood glucose if you're not a diabetic. That's what I'll say. You're getting results. You're in ketosis. Everything's fine. You're doing well. Maybe the only thing you're doing wrong is obsessing over your blood glucose numbers. And maybe you're measuring at the wrong time. Maybe you're taking bad advice. I don't know. But best of luck to you, Kyle. You got this, man. Just keep it simple. What are your goals? Focus on the metrics that will get you to your goals. If your goal is to have blood glucose below 80 all the time, which I don't know why you would want that, but if that's your goal, all the time below 80, after any meal I eat, it can't go above 80 or I feel like a failure. All right, then you can play that game. But if your goal is body fat, then that other game you were playing is irrelevant. Okay. Mark, what's up, man? Goody Beats, how's it going? I already said hi to you. You keep popping up here. All right, let's see. You ever heard of Lyle McDonald's diet, where you stay in ketosis most of the time and have your carb refeeds twice a week? You only consume protein on this diet. Any thoughts? Are you talking about a cyclical ketogenic diet as laid out in Lyle McDonald's book? If so, then yes, but I think you might have mixed up a little bit of what he recommends. I don't recommend doing refeeds. That's not what I think is the best way to do it, but hey, if it works, it works. Julie Morris. Yeah. Agreed, Julie. So it's ridiculous. Homeschooling. Homeschooling's nice, right? Yeah. The family is the antidote to a sick and twisted and failing society. The family. That's the nucleus. Why do you think there's such a push to destroy the family unit for the last century? Since the 50s. Why? Because the family is the most important unit for spiritual power. You take away the family, you take away that nucleus of comfort, of nurture, of life, of spiritual power. You take that away, you break up the family, you've got all kinds of little fractured individuals that you can enslave. That's what's going on there. All right. Gio Andre says, yes, I think Gangs of New York is pretty remarkable. Silence is very special to me. It's long, yes. Yeah, it's good. It's good that it's long. I don't mind it's long. I'm not complaining. What I don't like is long, stupid movies with 1,000 cuts per second and terrible editing and just like this pop crap that gets pushed out. It takes time to breathe and it maintains a very particular pace. It's very refreshing. Hey, you know what's a great film? The Tree of Life, or maybe Tree of Life. I don't know if it has the Terrence Malick. Terrence Malick? Yeah, Terrence Malick. I think that's his name. Tree of Life. Same director who made The Thin Red Line. Tree of Life, fantastic film. Also, lots of time to breathe in that film. There's entire shots of just like landscape, very little dialogue. It's incredible. That's an amazing film. Tree of Life. Check that one out, Gio Andre. I'm sure you've seen it. Okay. Brian says, I have a quick question. A couple coworkers and I just embarked on a keto lifestyle over the past month. One of us went to the doctor last week and got blood work on an unrelated reason. His numbers came back and his cholesterol numbers are high. Yeah, we talked about cholesterol earlier. If you back up a little bit, it seems like a lot of people, not a lot of people, but a certain portion of the population will respond to a ketogenic diet with a jump in cholesterol. But what type of cholesterol? Are you talking about HDL? Are you talking about total cholesterol, HDL and LDL? Are you talking about LDL? Are you talking about small particle LDL? The particle size matters. The context matters as well. HbA1c, hemoglobin A1c is very important. Your inflammation level is also very important. So C-reactive protein levels, all these things should be taken into account, not just, oh, you got high cholesterol. You know why everyone's tested for cholesterol all the time? In my opinion, and I'm not here to give medical advice. I'm not a member of the medical priesthood. I'm not a doctor. But the way I see it, statins are the most profitable drug for pharmaceutical companies. Think about that. These things are making billions of dollars for these companies. Billions. You know how much money gets spent on advertising for this stuff? It's a huge industry. Suppressing cholesterol, people with low cholesterol are more prone to depression. People with low cholesterol have higher mortality rates from all causes. People with low cholesterol, I mean, how much further do I need to go? Cholesterol thing is madness. We need to look more. We need to study more. We need to question our assumptions, our dogma, and the things we've been told about the reality that we live in. Or we're just parroting and becoming prey to this fear of, oh, my cholesterol, I can't, my cholesterol is high. And then you go to the doctor, you get the statins, then you get depressed, you get inflamed, you atrophy. You know what else statins do? Low cholesterol, those causes atrophy in muscle tissues and in the brain. All right. Chef says, thank you, Tristan. You put a smile on my face. You awesome. Thank you, Chef. All right. Can you do a ketogenic diet? A ketogenic vegan diet, or is that ridiculously impractical? I think it's impractical. I don't think it's practical. You could, but you probably wouldn't last very long on it. Does isolate protein disturb ketogenic diet? Please answer this. Does isolate protein? So pushy with your questions, people. Stand in line. Be nice. All right. Whey protein isolate interrupt ketosis. A huge bolus of a straight-up protein source, of course, will cause a rise in glucagon and insulin. It's a natural response of your body to a protein source. Now, if you have it at a mixed meal, the insulin response decreases. Will it interrupt ketosis? Technically, of course, anything can interrupt ketosis. Any big meal can cause glucagon to increase and can cause ketosis to be temporarily interrupted. Now, will whey protein isolate ruin your progress on a ketogenic diet? Because you're probably doing a ketogenic diet because you want results in some certain way. And you're probably not looking for high blood ketones, and that's not the only reason you're doing it. So if you're 95% of people doing keto, that transient spike in blood glucose that you might experience from one of these sources of nutrition probably is not going to damage your progress, probably is not going to screw you up too bad. So hope that helps. No, protein is not going to ruin ketosis. But why are you eating this protein isolate so much? Just eat food. Come on. Let's eat some real food. Real food. Okay. Cat C says, we homeschool and love every minute. Yeah, that's awesome. It's all about family, right? Like really. Community, small communities. You know, talk to your neighbors. How many people watching this right now live in a neighborhood and you don't even know the names of 90% of the people in your neighborhood? It's ridiculous. We need to talk to our neighbors. We need to form communities. We need strong community bonds. The community bond has been broken. You know what the new community is? The new community, like, it's ridiculous. You break the bonds in their communities. You break the bonds in the families. You rip apart the families, and you give them the monolith. You give them the black box. You give them the TV. You give them media. And that's what formats their reality. That's what tells them what to expect from people, what to expect from the world, what to expect from reality. That's what forms their personality and their psyche. And when you remove strong families, when you remove the community aspect of raising children, you have a malleable population of people that can be formed and programmed as you please. Unfortunately, right? But fortunately, there's a lot of people out there. There are a lot of people out there who understand this, who see this, who are not submitting to this, and who are doing their best to raise children with love, with a family, and who don't just send their kids off to be programmed and, without question. And I'm not railing. I'm not saying that if you got to send your kids to school, there's nothing wrong with it, right? Like if you have a strong family unit, then you're strong enough that where when your kid comes home from school, they've seen this or that, or they've dealt with something, they've been exposed to something, that you can help frame, that you can help them through it. You can help them to understand what's going on. You can help give them a solid footing in the reality that your family stands on, the foundation that you build your life on. Yeah. So it's awesome. Yeah, homeschooling's great. I think homeschooling's great. Or just if you can't homeschool though, you know what we should do? We can't get our kids into a homeschool. We got to take a little bit more responsibility for what's going on in the schools that our kids go to, in our public schools. Like who is this teacher that your kid's spending so many hours with per day? Do you even know them? Do you even know this person? And get hands-on. Get involved with your school board. Take charge. All right. CM Horn says, today's my first day. First day of what? Keto? I'm starting with a 3-day fat fast. Glad I caught your live. This really encouraged me. Why are you doing a 3-day fat fast? That's all right. I'm so glad you commented. All right, Jessasium. I'm sorry. I probably didn't pronounce your name wrong, or I probably didn't pronounce your name right, rather. What I'd like you to do is stop doing this fat fast. Why are you doing a fat fast to do a ketogenic diet? Just start eating the macros that you need. Just start off on a ketogenic diet. You're going to do a fast. Like, why would you eat fat? Why would you eat fat in a fast? I don't understand. I don't understand where these things come from. Who's recommending people do a fat fast? Deep breath. Oh, fat fast. Just eat your macros. Just go for it. If you're going to fast, you should fast. Lectech Laboratory says, sounds like you're arguing high cholesterol isn't a bad thing. I'm not saying that's not a bad thing. I'm saying it might not be a bad thing. I'm saying you got to go do some more research and make up your mind. I'm saying that I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm not going to tell you how to analyze it. You got to analyze the data. From my experience, from what I've seen, there's a lot more going on than just cholesterol bad, low cholesterol good. It's not so simple. You got to take into account what cholesterol does. What's the function of cholesterol? We need cholesterol. All right. And a lot of the times what happens is LDL goes up in the beginning and triglycerides go up as you're liberating and burning a lot of fatty acids, and then it stabilizes and it goes back down. A lot of the times HDL jumps too, making the ratio very beneficial, or very, not beneficial, but favorable. Okay. Repent, people. Nice name. Says, I started keto diet 3 weeks ago and I haven't lost pounds. However, it appears I am losing inches in my back. I weigh 300 pounds. You could be holding on some water weight still. You got 300 pounds to lose, and then that means you can go at it. You can go a little more aggressive. So if your hunger is low, maybe you should strike when the iron's hot. Keep getting your protein in, perhaps dropping the fats back a little bit and burning more of that body fat. You got 300 pounds on you. Congratulations on the new lifestyle change. You got to understand, though, and I'm sure you do, that this is a long-term thing. It's not a short-term thing. No matter what diet you do, fat loss, going from 300 pounds to a healthy weight, is not a short-term journey. So you know that. It took a long time to get there, and it'll take a while to get out. So have patience. You gotta make it so you enjoy the ride. You got to enjoy every step. It's one meal at a time, one day at a time, 1 week at a time. What can I do right now? What can I do today to continue getting the results that I desire, the results that you need? You're 300 pounds, you need to get results if you want life. So congratulations. You want life, you're getting it. You've been given life. So time to take it back. It's like we've been given this, and then sometimes we give some of it up. You know, sometimes it's too late to take it back. But for you, it's not. Get it. Enjoy it. All right. Andrew Fawcett says, looks like the Hangout is stressing you out, Tristan. No. Here's definitely not stressing me out. I like doing these. I just got to get a little animated every once in a while, you know? Got to let that valve of emotion out. Let the pressure out. It doesn't stress me out. I love it. Beat Knox says, can't wait to get this maca root I ordered. Right on, Beat. If you ordered in the last 2 or 3 days, should be shipping out today. If you ordered like at the end of last week. Yeah, I think this is not just, you've had the maca before. All right. Kip Jacob says, thanks for the maca, man, but it's hard to drink it down. Any tips? All right, so some people don't like the taste of maca. Some crazy people like me actually enjoy the taste of maca. Or, I mean, I don't eat it straight, but what I do is I found ways to enjoy it. So if you check out on the website and on the order page where you purchase the maca, there's a link to our free maca ebook called Maca, the Andean Adaptogen. Maca is an adaptogen from the Andes. We live here in the Andes, and that's how we're able to source the best maca available. So we might only have maca for another month or two. This is the end of the line on this run of maca. We bought a pallet of it a little while ago, and it's almost gone. So thanks for enjoying it. Thanks for ordering it. Thanks for supporting our work, and I'm glad that you find value in it. For the person who asked on how to take it, sometimes what I like to do is just take some MCT oil. I just railed about MCT oil earlier, how it's not the best. But in this case, sometimes it's nice to use a little bit of MCT oil, and you mix in like a teaspoon of maca with a teaspoon of MCT, mix it up, take it together. I like how that tastes. Some people like chocolate with maca. There's a recipe in the Andean Adaptogen book for this fudge stuff, this like maca fudge brownie. And it has walnuts, cacao butter, maybe it's cacao paste, and maca and some other things. And it's really, really good. It's super good. I like that one as well. There's a lot of different ways you can take maca. I just like it. I don't know. Glad you like it, though. Repent, people. Says, thank you for your advice. God bless you. Thank you. I follow 71% fat, 23% protein, 5% carbs, 1550 calories. I'll scale back on the fat. Look, all right. In your situation, go back on my videos and watch some of the videos about percentages. So if you just search ratio, macronutrient ratios don't matter. Search ratio in my channel and watch my videos on macronutrient ratios. You're not on a medical ketogenic diet. You're on a fat loss diet. You need to get sufficient protein. You need some fat, but because the protein comes with the fat, but you have plenty of body fat to burn. So protein's the most important part of the diet. For anybody who's doing ketogenic diet for fat loss, protein is the most important macro to eat, not fat. Say it again. Protein is the most important macro to eat for a ketogenic diet for fat loss, not fat. Don't take it out of context and think I'm saying eat unlimited protein, eat as much as you want, as much as you can. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's the most important one to eat. So eat your protein. Don't worry about what ratio it is. Look at it in terms of grams. You probably need about, 0.7 grams. I mean, for you, if you're more sedentary, 0.7 grams per pound of your lean body mass should be sufficient. Should be more than enough for you in protein. And then fat makes up the energy portion of the diet. But since you have body fat to tap into, you don't want that fat to be crazy off the wall high. So maybe for you, maybe try like 120 grams of fat. That might be useful. I don't know. Basically, I just formulated your diet right there. I can't go any further with you. I mean, I've got clients who pay me to look at their lifestyle and diet and help them out and help them formulate it and optimize it. Just from the information you've given me so far, that's kind of where I'd be floating your macros, I think, if you were one of my clients. So yeah, there you go. I hope that helps. I go way more in depth with clients. We look at other parts of their life. So none of my clients are going to be offended that I just threw out some macros at you there. Hope that helps though. All right, Lakshay Shug or Lakashay. I'm sorry, man. I can't say your name. I'm so bad at this. Being a medical student, I know cholesterol is good for health and how bad it is that the big companies wash our brains to sell products. What big companies would never lie to you? Come on. Big companies and governments would never lie to you. Like, aren't they're there to help, right? Like the news, the news is a public service announcement. CNN and Fox News, they're doing a public service. And governments are just there to help us. Like the roads, and who's going to build the roads? We need governments. We need them bombing everybody so we can build roads. All right. Could maca make you sleepy? That's a good question. All right. So it's an adaptogen. Adaptogens help your body adapt to the environment. Now, sometimes the body's best way to adapt to an environment, sometimes you might be burning the candle at both ends. Sometimes you need to sleep. So an adaptogen can make you sleepy if you need to sleep. All right. Beat Knox says, keto is so beneficial. I feel better mentally than I have in months. That's awesome. Congratulations, Beat Knox. Keep it up, man. Keep it up. All right. What else we got going on here? So much. So many questions. Thanks to everybody for joining. It's always really fun getting to talk to. It feels like I'm talking to myself sometimes. Well, I am talking to myself. But I'm also talking to all you guys, you know? But sometimes I get lost here and I will read a comment and I want to answer it. Is it okay to drink bulletproof coffee in the morning and then drink apple cider vinegar at night? What? Where's the contraindication between bulletproof coffee in the morning and apple cider vinegar at night? I don't understand. I don't know where the contraindication would be. I don't see anything wrong with that. But what I will say is bulletproof coffee. Bulletproof. Are you talking about putting fat in a coffee, or are you talking about the brand Bulletproof? Great marketing. Always just fantastic marketing. But their coffee is nothing special, and putting fat in your coffee is not going to make you burn more body fat. All right. Where'd that comment go? I was listening to a talk on the low carb down under that was making a hypothesis that overweight people on keto have a high LDL during weight loss because they're burning fat that turns to cholesterol. All right, so I think you explained that in a different way than was explained in the video, but they could be onto something there, that the high fat diet or a ketogenic diet, when you're losing body fat, will cause like a rise in triglycerides. It can cause cholesterol to increase as you're burning all this fat. That would make sense, right? Does make sense. Gio Andre says, yes, I've actually seen The Tree of Life recently. I thought it was amazing. Yeah, not very many people. I don't think a lot of people like that film. There's a lot of people who really like it, and there's probably a lot of people who saw it and were just like, this movie's trash. When I first saw it, I didn't like it that much. It was kind of, I didn't get that into it. The second time I watched it, though, it's all about timing, right? I mean, the score on that film is incredible. The cinematography is amazing. There's parts of it that had me in tears. I mean, there's just the way that certain scenes were portrayed, the innocence of childhood and just the mystery, the silence, the vastness of that little suburban town that they shot in. I mean, some of those shots were just incredible. And for some reason, the one shot that comes to mind right now, and it just might show it kind of goes along with the theme of some of the things I've been talking about here, right? But the thing that pops up into my mind from that film was the shot of that truck going by, the DDT truck. And all the kids are running up the street, and it's just spraying these big white clouds of DDT all over them. And I don't know, there's something about that image, just the way that, just everything about it, everything behind it. I don't know. Just the way that it feels, right? Fantastic film. That's what films are about. Like that's a movie. That's cinema. Not this crap, all this mind control crap that gets put out now. Man, same. It's like music too, right? When you listen to Beethoven or Mozart or Chopin, or even some contemporary artists, and there's stuff that's like, like you feel it. It has heart. You listen to there's some stuff that's just, it's just good. It's just real. And then there's the mass-produced pop music stuff. So, I mean, it's like the film industry is the same, right? There's little nuggets in there. It's not all filth. It's not all pornography and filth. All right, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, that film, by the way, Terrence Malick's The Tree of Life. Anybody who has a lot of time to watch a good movie, and you got to be in the right mood. It's like, this is one of those films. It just like, I watch it with someone you love, to where you can pause it every once in a while and just go like, wow, and rewind it sometimes, and just re-experience some of the moments. But it's beautiful. There's no plot. There's not even a plot. Sean Penn's in it. He actually did an all right job. He's hard to watch in that movie though, like the pain that he shows, and then the tension and the vibe that Brad Pitt's character, that he just nails, that melancholy, that frustration, that man, there's just, that film is fantastic. All right. David Croteau says, okay, move on already. What are you talking about? Which rant are you talking about? Tune out if you don't like it. That's what I got to say. Move on already. You, sir, are invited to move on as well. All right. Alex A says, a film you might enjoy, Baraka. Baraka. I've heard of that. I haven't seen it. Okay. Keto and breathing can cure half of the health ailments in the world, says Beat Knox. Breathing, right? Breathe. Yeah, breathing's super important. Stress reduction. I mean, the breath is so powerful, right? I mean, it's the bridge between the conscious and the unconscious. Through conscious breathing, you can actually control your central nervous system and your autonomic nervous system and your immune system. It's incredible. I don't know, like curing half the ailments in the world, but how do you define the ailments of the world? Are you just talking about physical sicknesses that people get? Because the ailments of the world go far beyond physical sickness. All right. Thank you very much for the comments. You should watch the movie The Fountain. Yeah, I seen The Fountain. That end scene is so good. The tree. The Fountain's great. It wasn't perfect. It was good. It was well done. I like the triptych style. You know, it was a good film that used a kind of a triptych style of storytelling as well, was The Place Beyond the Pines. The Place Beyond the Pines. Sorry to anybody who doesn't care about these nerdy films we're talking about. Let's talk about some stuff that people want to hear about. Come on, guys. What do you want to know? How much protein should I eat on a ketogenic diet? Can I eat cheese on a ketogenic diet? Can I drink coffee on a ketogenic diet? Can I step on a crack on a ketogenic diet? All right. Could keto lead to adrenal fatigue? There's a good question. Adrenal fatigue. Adrenal fatigue. All right. So you're talking about an endocrine system disruption, right? Adrenal fatigue. A lot of people say like adrenal, what is it called? Adrenal fatigue doesn't exist, or like I don't know. There's so many arguments about it, right? But what you're talking about is, could keto cause like an endocrine system crash and just keto screw up your hormones? No more than any other diet can. Stress can wreck your hormones, can wreck your endocrine system. A poor environment, sit in front of the computer all the time, sit in front of here for 2 hours straight talking to myself on YouTube, can cause a chronic stress response. Artificial light, blue light, can curb the creation of melatonin, can affect you. I mean, our circadian rhythms, what I'm getting at is the circadian rhythm, circadian biology is probably far more important than your macronutrient composition when you're looking at stress. So for some people, if you're stressed out in 15 different ways, if you're not sleeping, if you're doing a job you don't like, if you're in an unhealthy relationship, if you're just full of shit, if you're just like angry and bitter, then you can be like, you're under stress. You know, I mean, and doing a ketogenic diet can just add to that stress. And it could be the straw that broke the camel's back, but also just a normal diet, like a standard American diet that's calorie restricted, could put you over on the stress there. Ketogenic diet in itself is not bad. It won't cause inflammation, it's not going to cause adrenal fatigue. It's not in itself going to be bad. And it can be really helpful for a lot of people, but it's all about context. There's so many different things you got to take into context, especially your sleep cycles. When you're exposed to artificial light all the time and a lot of it at night, that can disrupt your rhythm. You're telling yourself, don't make melatonin. It's daytime. You know, it's that bright blue light that you see coming in from outside right now that tells us, wake up, make some cortisol. It's time to go. It's time to live. And at night, it's got to be dark. We have to be exposed to the dark to create melatonin. Oh, this is interesting. This goes, all right, I'm not gonna loop back around with that logic. I'll move forward. All right. Ketosis equals chronic cortisol equals adrenal fatigue. No, ketosis equals chronic cortisol equals not true. How is ketosis equals chronic cortisol? How? Not true. But high stress, disrupted circadian rhythm, plus ketosis can definitely equal more stress and more cortisol. But in the beginning of a ketogenic diet, when you're going through that stressful phase, that's the worst. That's the first week or so is the worst part. And you don't want to be doing it if you're under loads and loads of stress, of course. But no, ketogenic diet does not make you, it doesn't make you pump out a bunch of cortisol. I don't know. Who's saying this? Who says these things? From where do you get this information? Who has been speaking such sorcery into your ears? Danish Roy says, why do you always skip my questions? What's your question? I don't know. Let me skip your question. Maybe I don't want to answer whatever question you got. Maybe it doesn't interest me. Let me try to find your question now since you're whining about it. Nope, can't find your question. Don't see it. You see how many comments there are? Scroll up. Hundreds of comments. I can't read every one of them. Ask your question again, and I'll try to get to it. All right. Given how much your brain likes protein and fat, coupled with how your second brain is in your stomach, I think keto is great, was to get one's hormones regulated after. All right. Beatnox, I couldn't read that, man. I think that maybe English is your second language. It was a little bit hard for me to read that, but yeah, man. I mean, it sounds like you're really enjoying what you're doing, and it sounds like whatever you're doing works, and whatever you're doing is helping you. So keep it going, keep it up. And a ketogenic diet is working really well for you. So that's awesome. All right, Elliot says, hey, Tristan and Jessica, love your channel and loved your answer. My son asked on my behalf so much that I subscribed. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, Andrew Fawcett, getting late here in Berlin. Yeah, it's getting late here too. I've been on this for a while now. It's been really nice. Thank you so much for everybody for dropping your questions in. We got to talk about all kinds of stuff, all kinds of little side rants and side missions on this Hangout. But I love being able to talk to you guys, and I hope some of this was helpful. If you like the content, you like what you see, what you hear, make sure to like it and share it. If you've bought the Ketogenic Edge cookbook, please take the time to leave a review on our website. I know it takes a lot of energy to go there and actually write a review, but if you enjoy it, we really appreciate the reviews. And there's been so many positive reviews. It's just ridiculous. I mean, there's the positive. I want to go and actually just read some of the reviews that we've had recently for the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. If you enjoy our channel, if you like all the free information, the free hangouts that we do, the free stuff we put out, you want to support the channel, and you want to support yourself on your journey if you're doing a ketogenic diet, check out the Ketogenic Edge cookbook, a training manual for low carb, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine. Jessica spent over a year on this book. This was a family project. We worked on this for a long time. Hold on, let me make sure. Okay, all is good. There's some new dogs that moved in down the road, and they bark very similar to my dogs, and it confuses me sometimes. And I think my dogs might be going in for a kill when they're not. But yeah, so here's some more recent reviews on it. Sean M says, buy this book. It sounds like I'm just making it up, right? Like, buy this book. Oh, okay, cool. This guy's just making up this review. Buy this book. You won't regret it. My only tip is to watch how you print it so it's not too thick. So Sean got the PDF. He ended up printing it out at his local print shop. He says, anyways, I bought the book a few weeks ago after discovering the ketogenic diet after a cancer diagnosis, and I absolutely love it. It's become my guide to keto cooking. They call it a training manual for keto, and that's right on because I've learned how to combine spices for optimal nutrition and taste, what to stock my kitchen with, and more importantly, why, how to make easy staple foods, bulk foods, and even desserts, how to use organ meats, something I've strayed from before, bread and crackers, except they're healthy bread and crackers, of course, type stuff I knew I was going to miss, and much more. I've learned about a few ingredients I've never heard of or knew of and knew nothing about. I've enjoyed every recipe so far and genuinely look forward to making the rest. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Sean. Again, the cookbook's available only at primaledgehealth.com. We're not on Amazon. Amazon, you're not getting that. Sorry. We're an independent company. We are a family-run gig. That's what we're about. So here's another review. Wendy Nelson. Thank you. This is so, in all caps, Wendy says, this is the ultimate cookbook. The rest of it is not in all caps, but it says total game changer in my opinion. I have been following Primal Edge for a while. I don't know why I waited so long to purchase this amazing book. Don't wait to buy this book. It answers so many questions and helps you eat the way we all should. It takes the guesswork out of keto. Wholesome and nutrient-dense recipes. Buy this book, she says. Thank you. All right, one more I'll read, and then I'll see if there's any other questions to hit before I take off. Laureen says, I love this cookbook. I leave it open on my MacBook Air 24/7, even though my laptop keeps telling me it's time to update. No, LOL. Thank you both for sharing some of the best recipes ever, she says. That's ridiculous. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you, Laureen. Then there's another really long review from Eric from earlier this week. I mean, there's just, thank you so much. For anybody who's taken the time to review the book, thank you. It was a labor of love, and we love being able to put this stuff out and share with you guys. And sometimes just jump up here on YouTube and rant about whatever people want to talk about. Shoot, we talk about movies, talk about all kinds of crazy stuff today. All right. Steve Wong says, I bought maca and the cookbook, but no use of maca in recipes, or did I miss them? All right, so the cookbook, there's no maca. There might be one maca recipe in the entire cookbook that includes maca. We made that cookbook, and we made all the recipes in that cookbook so that anybody, anywhere would be able to make the recipes. We didn't try to use a bunch of crazy esoteric ingredients. The whole cookbook is about nutrient-dense whole foods. We're not using lots of these hard-to-find ingredients. And for some people, maca is not easy to find, right? So we didn't put a bunch of maca recipes. But if you want maca recipes, go to primaledgehealth.com and download. If you just search maca, you'll find maca, the Andean adaptogen, and it is a free ebook available on our website. It's got a bunch of recipes in it that include maca. So, and it tells you all about maca and how to use it. Okay, let's see. Chef says, have your book, just awesome. Thank you, Chef Shalina Judith Wade Sedevi. All right, everybody. Oh, wait. Who's the guy who had the question and said I wasn't answering him? I don't know. I got to wrap up, though, guys. It's been an hour and a half. I'm tired. And I got kind of a stuffy nose today, so I'm going to go blow my nose. It's been very, very nice chatting with all of y'all. And if you want to be notified before the next live hangout, go to primaledgehealth.com, and on the right-hand side, there's a sign-up form. You can sign up for our newsletter, and we'll inform you before we do these live hangouts so you can ask your questions here. And hopefully I can get to your questions. Anybody whose questions I miss, I sincerely, well, no, I don't apologize. I just couldn't get to them. I tried, and I'll try next time to get to your questions. I'm not ignoring you on purpose. There wasn't a single question that I read here that I just avoided on purpose. I didn't want to answer. I tried to just pick one and answer. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can find more at primaledgehealth.com. If you want to support this, make sure you share it. Make sure you like it. And check out the Ketogenic Edge cookbook, available exclusively at primaledgehealth.com. Thank you so much for joining. Take control of your health. It's your responsibility. What you put in your body, what you put in your eyes, what you put in your mind. And that's what we're built of. All right, everybody. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.